Welcome to part 10 of the DA50 RG aircraft design using Catia V5. We're going to finish up on the horizontal stabilizer and let's just dive right in. By the way, if my voice keeps breaking on this episode, I apologize in advance. I have a very bad strep throat, but let's go. The first thing we're going to do is go back to airfoiltools.com and search for NACA 0012 airfoil, the same one that we used when you were designing the vertical stabilizer. The only things we're going to be changing here are the chord measurements and also when we are plotting the location of the airfoils. So we're going to send it to airfoil plotter. We have 3 airfoils for the horizontal stabilizer, the root, mid, and tip airfoil. So the chord for the root airfoil is 1226. And plot. Save the CSV file of coordinates. Then the second one is 577. Plot. And once again, save the CSV file of coordinates. Lastly, we have the tip chord, which is 289. Plot. And save the CSV file of coordinates. We're going to locate our GSD Excel file from Catia. And we can start plotting the 3 airfoils. Let's go and rename them. Starting with the root chord, we can rename this horizontal stabilizer HS root airfoil. And then we have the mid airfoil, HS mid, and we also have HS tip airfoil. We are plotting our airfoil section on the ZX plane, similar to what we did with the wing, and that means that these coordinates that we have here are actually Z and X coordinates, and Y coordinates are constant at each and a particular instant. So for the root section, it's at 0. So we're going to adjust this coordinate. For the X is equal to 5800 plus the X coordinates. The Y is constant at 0. And the Z is equal to 2000 plus the Z coordinate. And we are going to drag this along the airfoil section. Repeat the same for the Y and Z. Then we can copy this and run them in the GSD Excel file for Catia. So copy. And then we're going to paste the values here. And then cut this section and paste it at the very end. And then you can go now to macros and run. select 2 for points and splines, and select OK. Now if you go back to Catia, you can see that we've already plotted our section right here. Always make sure Catia is running, by the way. Catia should always be running at the background before you plot. Now, now let's do the same for the mid and the tip section. Now for the mid section, x is equal to 6090 plus the x coordinate. Y is constant at 1350. And Z is equal to 2050 plus the Z coordinate. Now let's once again copy the values. And we're going to run them here. Okay, we run for the tip section. X is equal to 6234 plus the x coordinate. Y is constant at 1869. And Z is equal to 1950 plus the Z coordinate. Repeat the same procedure. We go to GSD file. Paste the values. So now we have the 3 airfoil sections here. And as you saw with the other NACA airfoil that we used for the vertical stabilizer, it wasn't connected, so we need to connect it. So let's go to side view. We are going to zoom in, start with the root section. From the wireframe menu, select Connect Curve. You select the endpoint and the curve. I changed it to this direction, and then the other point and the curve. Then the tension, we are going to make it a bit pointed. So we are going to add 10 on both sides. Select OK. Join the two curves. And it's always good to add a point at the very end, especially if you're creating multi-section surfaces. Select this element, X component, and select OK. Let's go to the mid airfoil. Select connect curve, point, curve. Once again, point and curve. Change the tension to 10 on each side. Preview, select OK. Then join the two curves and add an extremum point at the very end. X component, select OK. Alright, let's repeat the same with finally the tip airfoil. Join the two, select join, join the two curves and then create an extremum point. X component, select OK. Always make sure to save your work as you continue. Now we have complete curves and we can start creating multi-section surfaces, and I'm still going to do it in sections like we did in the other part. So go to surfaces and select multi-section surface. Then we are going to select the first spline. Automatically it picks up the closing point, the extremum point that we created as our closing point. And we're going also to select the second spline. Make sure to check that the directions are all facing the same side, the tangency directions. Preview. That's the first section. Select OK. For the second section, we are going to need some guide curves. And once again, I'm going to change this property, graphic properties here. Okay. The wing is quite big, so I can hide the wing so that when I rotate my geometry, it's easier. Now we need to create a curve that joins these two. We don't want it to go straight down. Similarly to what we did with the winglet, we need a curve going straight and then joining up to the other side. And we can do that by using some lines and corners. So you're going to select line. And I need the very end point here. Actually, I'm going to hide this as well. Nose as well. Okay, let's remain with this section alone. So our first point is the extremum point. The type is point and direction. All right, and then the direction is this edge right here. Okay, so for direction we can create a line at the edge or just select this edge right here. We want it to continue to the same direction, right? And then the distance is going to be 350. Preview and select OK. Now we can join the end of this line with the last extreme point that we created there. You can just select it from the specification tree and select OK. So we're going to make a 3D corner. Select 3D corner. The two lines. Make sure you trim both elements and the radius is 100. Repeat the same for the other side. So I'm going to select side view and zoom in to select this point at the midsection. We want to create a line, point and direction. I'm going to lock it here so it doesn't move. And the direction, we are also going to create another line. So you right click and select create line. Let me start from this side. Maybe so I don't trigger it to go back to, so that point. Up to this point. I want to make sure I selected the right one. First point, let's change it to this point. Select OK. All right. And the distance is 350. Select OK. Now select line. Starting from this end point. The line type is point to point. We can switch to the side mode and select the extreme point here. Point 1, I don't know why it's not selecting the other point. Okay. And once again, create a 3D corner. And the radius remains 100. Select OK. So those are our two guides. And we can now create a multi-section surface. Spline 1. Second spline. And then for the guides, we have this and this section. Make sure the tangencies are facing on the same side. Preview and select OK. The last thing, we want to fill this section here. So select this. I'm going to select this spline. Go to surfaces, select fill. Preview, select OK. Now we can join all the three surfaces. Go to tools, hide all points. And tools, hide all curves. Then join multi-section surface 1, surface 2, and the fill surface. Select Preview, we have this. And we can now mirror this in the ZX plane. So select join, go to operation, select symmetry. Let me find it from the insert menu. Insert, operations, symmetry. And our reference is the ZX plane. Select OK. And now join the two surfaces. Preview. Select OK. We can give this a material now. And we have our horizontal stabilizer. So let's show the other segment as well. We can rename this geometrical set. Feature properties. And this is our horizontal stabilizer. Select OK. And we have the fuselage here. All right. So that is the horizontal stabilizer. In our next episode, before we move on to the propeller, we are going to add some details here and here. There is a stiffener here that joins the body to the vertical stabilizer. And there is also a revolute right here on top of the vertical stabilizer, joining it with the horizontal stabilizer. So we're going to add those two details, and we can finally move on to the propeller, and our aircraft will be done. And the only thing that will be remaining now is if you want to do some renders and you want to have some windows here, I'm going to show you how to do that. So don't forget to like, subscribe, and turn on notifications so you know when I post the next episode. So far so good. I hope you have not run into any errors so far, but let me know in the comments if you have gotten any errors. See you in the next part.